Kaduna Senator Sanam decries insecurity in the north, says entire northern Nigeria is under siege. Policeman in Gombe rams vehicle into crowd of children in Easter procession, kills 10, injures 30. In international news, investigators say 7 suicide bombers pulled off Sri Lanka's attack. And in sport, young Nigerian basketball players train hard, hoping to make it to the national team.
This is ANN News.
I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Senator Shehu Sanam, representing Kaduna Central Senatorial District, has painted a grim security picture of the northern part of the country. He says northern political leaders have worsened the situation and brought calamity to the region. Sanam says because of the lukewarm attitude of those leaders towards addressing issues bedeviling the area, social vices has become rampant and have taken over the region. The senator made this comment when he received delegations who paid him a courtesy visit from Burning Gwari and Chukun local government areas in Kaduna State and a delegation of Zamfara State citizens residents in Kaduna. Sani told the visitors the entire northern Nigeria is under siege. He pointed to bandits in the northwest, guardsmen attacks in the north central, and insurgents in the northeast. Frowning at the level of insecurity in the region, Sani called on residents to rise up, question and challenge those in positions of authority to do what is right. President Muhammadu Buhari has said on Monday he is not sleeping on duty as the commander-in-chief. The Catholic Bishop of Yola Diocese, Right Reverend Father Stephen Manza, had said on Sunday in his Easter family and homily that the president did not just. The bishop had criticized the Buhari administration for what he says was the president's failure to halt insecurity in the country, especially escalating kidnappings, banditry and other violent crimes. Bishop Manza specifically spoke on the latest killings in Zamfara, Benue, Adamawa, Taraba and southern Kaduna. He charged the Nigerians are in quandary and that there is a feeling that they don't have protection. He accused the president of doing nothing about the situation. The president denied the bishop's charge that he had been sleeping on duty and charged back that Bishop Manza was not staying above politics and that his comments were unfair to him. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, stated that so much has changed in the past 3 to 4 years in and around Yola because of the President's action to tackle the security problems. Witnesses and police sources in Gombe City have confirmed that 10 persons were killed and more than 30 injured when a policeman rammed his car into a group of children during an Easter procession in the northeastern city. The angry crowd was said to have killed him in retaliation. State Police Command spokeswoman Mary Malam confirmed the deadly incident that happened late Sunday. She said the off-duty policeman plunged his car into a procession of persons celebrating Easter. She confirmed that 10 persons, including the policeman and a paramilitary member who was his friend, were killed and that 30 children were injured. At least 13 Muslim school children were killed in December 2016 when a bus skidded off the road and rammed into a procession marking the birthday of Prophet Muhammad in Malan Side village, 20 kilometers from Gombe. President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed deep sadness over the killings of this Christian youth by the Nigerian policeman who was accused of intentionally ramming his vehicle into them in Gombe while on their Easter Sunday procession. The president also expressed sadness over the reprisal killing of the law enforcement officials allegedly responsible for the tragic incident. In a statement on Monday, the president described the violent actions as very unfortunate and extended condolences to the families of the victims. He also wished the injured speedy recovery. Along with the Christian Association of Nigeria, Gombe chapter, and the state governments, the president appealed for calm. He also decried the reckless driving as well as what he called quick resorts to self-help and mob action. Minister of Finance Zainab Ahmed has said Nigeria's borrowing still stands at 19% of the gross domestic product. She said this level is low compared to death levels in Ghana, Brazil, South Africa, Egypt and Angola. The minister also said there is no plan to remove fuel subsidy. She said the International Monetary Fund merely advised the federal government to remove fuel subsidy, but assured Nigerians fuel subsidy removal plans are not even being considered at this time. On the question of the country's debt level, the minister said Nigeria's borrowing is still at 19% of GDP. She said this is still within the country's Fiscal Responsibility Act, which allows a maximum of 25% of GDP. The minister said Nigeria has the lowest level of borrowing compared to other countries. In Lagos, Governor-elect Babajide Sanwo-Olu has expressed confidence he will be victorious at the Lagos State Governorship Electoral Petition Tribunal. The governor-elect expressed optimism when he visited the tribunal to sign responses to 2 petitions challenging his victory in the March governorship election in Lagos. His victory is being challenged by Chief Owolabi Salis of the Alliance for Democracy and Professor Ifegbemi Awamaridi of the Labour Party. Sanwo-Olu said the tribunal will find that the challenges to his victory were without merit because the Gaussians went out and voted in large numbers and made their choice. With him at the tribunal was Deputy Governor-elect Obafemi Hamzat. Coming up, African stories. Cyclone warning in Mozambique where another powerful storm brews. And later, international news. Sri Lanka investigators say 7 suicide bombers pulled off the Colombo deadly attacks.
You are watching ANN.
This used to be me. But that was before I got the perfect bag. It's handy and easy to use. All I need in one compact space, just like my MTN Extra Value plan. I used to get one plan for my calls and then try to remember which data plan worked for me. Roaming was a totally different ballgame. Not anymore. I've got the MTN Extra Value all-in-one plan. If you're a data buff like me, you get extra data with some talk time. And if you like to make calls, you get extra talk time with some data. And when I'm abroad, I automatically browse, chat, and call right on the same plan. MTN Extra Value was made just for me.
More of data or calls, whichever one you prefer. MTN Extra Value is made just for you.
Somewhere in the world, every second of the day, news is happening. And of course, Nigeria is bustling with news day and night. That is why ANN doesn't sleep. Our eyes are peeled, wide open, so no story escapes our radar. We stay abreast of world events and happenings at home. We keep you up to the minute in the world of sports. We give you information to stay on top of your investments and all the hard facts you'll need to navigate your day. If you miss us on air, you can keep up to date on our website, annafrica.net, and on our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at ANN Africa TV. We are ANN, Africa News Network. We do news right in a truly African spirit.
Welcome back. This is ANN News. Now to African stories. Mozambique, not even out of the woods from Cyclone Idai, is bracing for another powerful storm. Authorities have warned of a tropical storm that could hit the country this week. Just a month after Cyclone Idai ravaged the nation, the next organized tropical cyclone to be named Kenneth could also affect Tanzania. Cyclone Idai killed nearly 1,000 persons last month in parts of Mozambique, Malawi and Zimbabwe and left some 3 million in need of humanitarian assistance. The region surely needs no more cyclones. In another weather tragedy, officials in South Africa say death toll has risen to 51 persons as mudslides and flooding caused by torrential rains in Durban and KwaZulu-Natal province baggered the area. A 6-month-old baby was among the dead. Dozens were taken to the hospital and search and rescue teams are looking for more survivors under the rubble of collapsed buildings. Some schools have been shut and electricity brought down. A severe weather warning remains in place in most parts of South Africa, and more localized flooding is expected in coastal areas. Heavy rains were blamed for the collapse of a church wall that killed at least 13 persons in KwaZulu-Natal last week. Northern Uganda was the battleground of a decades-long conflict between the Lord's Resistance Army Rebel Group, or LRA, and the Ugandan government. The war ended 10 years ago, and many victims were left behind to fend for themselves. A Ugandan center now wants to train those victims so they can gain some basic skills to make a living. Reporter Daniel Arapmoa has the story.
This is Gulu War-affected Center, a place that has become a beacon of hope for hundreds of young men and women who were directly or indirectly affected by the LRA war. Jacqueline Ageno-Roch is one of the young women at the center. She proudly shares with us what she has achieved during our study here.
I learned many things. One, braiding, the one I'm doing, 3-3, they call it like that. The next thing, weaving, that you use needle, thread, and extension weave.
Many of these young men and women belong to a generation of youth who have missed out on school due to the devastating effects of the conflict north of Uganda. Some say they lost their parents, while others their siblings in the violence. Thousands others were forced into combat, child marriage or sexual exploitation, and remain haunted by the memories of the war. Charles Akera is a 22-year-old who was born in captivity following the abduction of his mother and father. Akera says his father was killed in the jungles of northern Uganda during the war. For now, he remains an orphan in need of assistance. Despite the fact that his father is long gone, Akera, just like many others here, has not totally lost hope. He has enrolled at the center to learn hairdressing with the hope of earning some little money in the near future to better himself.
After gaining skills here, I would love to continue with my education and acquire even better skills.
Without an education or vocational skills, they struggle to gain traction as they enter adulthood, despite being eager to move beyond the past. But many of these war-affected youths are not taking any chances, giving in their all to learn life skills for a brighter future. Gulu War-affected Training Center is focusing on these youth with particular attention on girls, with the aim of improving their living conditions and increase their independence through education and training.
The Gulu War-affected Training Center was set up to provide healing to hundreds of youths traumatized as a result of the war.
The center has expanded. It now covers as far as South Sudan, a country that also bore the brunt of the Lord's Resistance Army's violence.
These are people who have been affected by the war in Southern Sudan. So when they come here, we also train them on different skills.
For now, they continue to help not only the youth, but also women affected by the war, equipping them with hands-on skills like tailoring to help them earn a living.
The Lord's Resistance Army rampaged through northern Uganda for nearly 2 decades, beginning in the late 1980s. The armed group is believed to be responsible for at least 100,000 deaths and the abduction of many thousands more. Its fighters mutilated civilians by chopping off their limbs, noses or lips and kidnapped women for marriage and children to fight. The price of bread almost doubled for Zimbabwe's last week as the inflation nightmare that marked the rule of long-time authoritarian leader Robert Mugabe returns to haunt his successor, Emmerson Mnangagwa. There have been warnings of the mental and physical toll the rampant price increases will have on Zimbabweans after the cost of a loaf of bread basically doubled to $3.50 and the tub of butter shot up to $17 from $8.50. Mnangagwa pledged to revive his country's moribund economy when Mugabe was toppled in 2017 after 37 years in power. But following the central bank's unveiling of a new monetary policy in February, introducing a new local currency, prices of goods and services have skyrocketed at rates unseen in a decade. The disparity between the official and parallel market exchange rate has been rapidly widening, triggering price hikes of up to 300%. The crisis has brought back memories of a decade ago when hyperinflation peaked at a gross to 500 billion%, wiping out the Zimbabwean dollar.
On rice and sweet potatoes because no one can afford bread anymore. We are going back to a time when we would only eat bread at Christmas.
When we return, international news. Sri Lanka investigators say 7 suicide bombers pulled off the Colombo deadly attacks. And later, sport. Young Nigerian basketball players eye the national team.
You are watching ANN.
Looking for some We've got a magical solution just for you. Simply go to DisneyNigeria.mobi and get an exciting selection of games, short videos, wallpapers, shareables, and more. Explore a whole new world of Disney on your mobile, tablet, or PC. For just 200 Naira monthly, you get to enjoy the fun to infinity and beyond. SMS Disney to 11006 to begin. Terms and conditions apply. This service is only available to MTN customers.
Whether in your house, at your office, on your phone or online, we are there. We have the facts behind the headlines. We cut to the chase with the news you really need. We cover every angle. We are the bigger, better news network. We are African News Network. ANN. Watch ANN News on MITV from a truly African spirit.
Welcome back. This is CNN News. Now to international stories. Investigation into Sri Lanka Easter Sunday bombings that killed more than 350 persons entered a 4th day on Wednesday. Investigators say the suicide bombers who struck churches and hotels were all well-educated, middle-class Sri Lankans, and there were 9 of them, 8 men and 1 woman, including the man described as the leader of the homegrown militant Islamic group that was blamed for the attack. Indian intelligence officials revealed it was the last in a series of unheeded alerts, including the intelligence memo written at least 10 days before the bombings that warned of attacks on churches. President Sirisena has requested the resignation of Defense Secretary Hemasiri Nanando and Inspector General of Police Pujit Jayasundara. Meanwhile, victims of Easter Sunday bombings in Sri Lanka were laid to rest on Tuesday, with one funeral procession following another all day. Given the victims in Gombe, a Christian burial essentially required a mass grave, and a whole new cemetery had to be hastily dug to bury more than 100 bodies. The graves are simple mounds covered in flowers. Family, neighbors, and friends looked on, still trying to absorb the community's staggering loss.
Family of 4 went to celebrate Easter on Sunday, but came back in coffins on Monday. Pratap, his wife Antasi, and their daughters were standing outside the St. Anthony's Church as it was too crowded to enter. Little did they know that this was their last mass. Their bereaved mother refuses to leave the side of the coffins, and others are still in disbelief.
It seems like we are all dead. It seems like a part of my body is cut. The whole family is dead along with the children. I cannot express the pain. We can never forget this pain.
The number of grieving families is increasing as police identifies bodies of people who were killed in the explosions. The government has announced compensations for the victims.
To the families, 1 million, and also that for those who are injured, and according to their injuries, from 100,000 rupees to 300,000 rupees to be paid. And also all the churches damaged to be completely repaired and renovated by the government expenses.
An explosion went off on Monday in a van near St. Anthony's Church when bomb squad officials were trying to defuse it. The police also found 87 bomb detonators at the bus station. This caused panic among people.
Around 4 o'clock, blast sound heard, a big blast sound. We also scared very much, and after that, I hope maybe what going to happen another days also. Everyone scared very much.
It will take a few days before life becomes normal in Sri Lanka, but those who lost their loved ones will never forget this pain.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has arrived in the Russian city of Vladivostok ahead of his planned summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Russian state television showed Kim stepping out of his green private train at a railway station in the eastern port city Wednesday afternoon under a leaden sky. Kim and Putin are set to meet for the first time Thursday, but there is no plan to sign any agreements or make a joint statement. Kim's visit to North Korea's northern neighbor comes amid an impasse in the nuclear negotiations between Pyongyang and Washington. Iran's Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif has criticized the administration of U.S. President Donald Trump for not condemning a mass execution of prisoners in Saudi Arabia. On Tuesday, Saudi Arabia beheaded 37 of its citizens for what it said were terrorism-related crimes. Publicly pinning two of the bodies to a pole as a warning to others. Tehran and Washington have taken in tit-for-tat measures to label each other's military as terrorists recently following Trump administration's decision on Monday to end waivers for countries importing oil for Iran. Saudi Arabia's Interior Ministry said in a statement that the prisoners were found guilty of attacking security installations with explosives, killing a number of security officers, and cooperating with enemy organizations against the interests of the country. Right groups say each year between 2015 and 2017, Saudi Arabia executed at least 150 prisoners. Still to come, sport. Young Nigerian basketball players eye the national team. Please stay with us.
You are watching ANN.
Welcome back. This is ANN News and Sports. The sport of basketball is not very popular in Nigeria, but one famous name was made of a Nigerian who has embraced the sport in the 80s. Hakeem Olajuwon became a superstar basketball player in the United States, playing for the Houston Rockets. Well, many Nigerian youths are showing interest in the sport and nursing the hope that they would one day make it to the national team, maybe even one day becoming superstars abroad. Phil Ihaza reports.
Being put through their paces, these are Nigeria's rising basketball stars training at the Dashon International Academy. Here, local talent is being developed in the hope that one day these players will make it into the national team. And their coach knows a thing or two about that. Stanley Gummert is a professional basketball player who last played for Nigeria in 2013.
I've been opportune to play with so many coaches with different world of experience. And I think I have a lot upstairs. That's what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to take it upon myself to see how we can transfer such knowledge to the younger talents here at home.
In Nigeria, basketball is not as popular as football, but interest in it and success surrounding it are growing. Nigeria's men's team, the D Tigers, are ranked first in Africa and 33rd in the world, according to the International Federation of Basketball. These young amateur basketball players are training hard in the hope that they can form part of a formidable national team and help boost the country's ranking on a global stage. Most of the national side's players, however, have moved abroad in search of better opportunities to help improve their skill and technique. Less than 20% of them are based in Nigeria. But providing better training at home for amateur players like these could help retain players. After rigorous training at the academy, some players have now been drafted into clubs in the lower divisions of Nigeria's basketball league. It's a good first step.
in this academy, working with Stan, it has been really great. His drills, work ethics, his discipline on and off the court, let me say, it impacts a great deal in my life, and I will make him proud by becoming a successful basketball player.
I always wanted to, go far in basketball, and playing with Dashon Mambas I would say, is an opportunity for an open door to learn more. So I'm very, very happy about that.
But Stanley says if the country is to develop world-class players, basketball in Nigeria needs better funding.
I believe we have so many investors, watching with keen interest how they can come in and help out. But the issue here is that they need an enabling environment for them to be able to operate. So the only challenge I'm giving the government is to give those donor agencies and those private companies the enabling environment so that they can be able to come in and help sports in Nigeria.
Despite these challenges, Nigeria's amateur basketball players remain focused on their goals and hope to find themselves wearing the national side's jersey in the future.
We surely wish them success. That is any news this evening. Thank you for joining us. For details on this and other stories, visit our website, annafrica.net. Conversation continues on our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at ANN Africa TV. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Have a pleasant evening.